Happy Tuesday, my friends. So, I want to share a story to all of you guys that come and watch my content. And, the story involves this well-known professional lawyer, litigator, professional plaintiff, whatever you want to call him. Bottom line, this gentleman takes a lot of people to court every single year. Why? Because they cold call his cell phone. His private cell phone that's been registered on the National Do Not Call Registry for several years. And this guy is well known. He got many cases on the federal court dockets, and he's had a lot of success holding these companies accountable. But this particular story that he was sharing with me today is close to home because, again, I've been an insurance agent for 22 years, and since 2011, I've been actively on the telephones, promoting telesales, selling final expense myself, but more importantly, training my agents and others on these guidelines. And he went ahead and shared the story of this insurance agent, and I'm not going to mention his name, but this insurance agent was calling him, again, using overseas centers to cold call, and they must have called this gentleman over 100 times. And again, as a professional litigator, he was taking notice, he was taking recordings, and he was documenting everything in his investigation as he's dealing with these inbound calls. Well, he sends a notice to this agency owner. The agency owner, again, just brushed it off, thought it would just go away, and it didn't. Second, he sent a lawsuit, and in that lawsuit, that insurance agency owner did not respond. So by default, he lost $250,000. Think about that. Didn't even respond. And right now, that gentleman has a lien on his home of $250,000, all because he was buying leads from overseas call centers that are cold calling people, using automatic dialing systems, using unlicensed people to sell insurance. And when he dealt with the complaint, he couldn't handle it, couldn't respond. And now he has $250,000 in a lien that's just pending to be paid back to this professional litigator that I'm talking about. I mean, maybe right now he don't have to pay, but one day he's going to have to sell that piece of property, and that money, if there's any equity, goes to that litigator's family just because. All because this particular agency owner was purchasing leads from the wrong lead source, not training his agents on your basic Tcpa and DNC guidelines. And now imagine that. So if you're watching this and if you're new to insurance sales, okay, because this applies to anything, any goods and services where, again, you're picking up the phones to solicit, this applies to you. Those defense lawyers that defend these type of lawsuits, these TCPA lawsuits, cost a lot of money. For example, Eric Troutman from Troutman and Amin. I know Eric, he's charging at least $5,000 an hour to defend you against a claim of what? Of a TCPA violation because you or your agents are cold calling people. Think about that, $5,000 an hour. The retainers, they're ridiculous. $25,000, $50,000 just to retain someone like Mr. Troutman, who's really, really good at defending these type of cases. He understands these laws. But the bottom line is something that you can't defend is if you're cold calling people that are on the National Do Not Call Registry and you're doing it, and there's an actual call log that shows that, and there's recordings of it. And nowadays, with CRM system, phone systems, it's so easy to record. And consent laws, depending on your state, it allows you to do it if you have the right consent. So it's easy to track this down. But you do not, again, want to find yourself in that situation. And it happens every single day to insurance agents when they're out there buying leads. It's all over social media. Tons of marketing companies selling leads. But again, the risk, is it worth it? When I think of that gentleman, of him having a lien of $250,000 on his real estate, I find it hard that doesn't bother him. All because of why? Because he didn't vet out his lead system. He didn't train his staff. He didn't buy a lead source that was legitimate, but now he has to pay the price. And that story has repeated itself over and over and over every single year it happens. But you notice that a lot of insurance agencies don't really talk about that. I think the reason that a lot of companies don't educate their agents, honestly, on these type of telemarketing laws has to do with leads. Imagine if you're an agency owner, right? And you're doing marketing for all of your agents, it's safe to say that you're going to be stuck with a lot of inventory at any given time of the month. So what do you need to do with that old inventory? You need to get rid of it. So you offload it to your insurance agents, and you're looking to get what it costs you to generate that lead, right? But here's the problem. But now when you sell those leads to those agents of yours, and you got to explain to them that the time clock starts from the moment in time that lead was generated. What time clock am I talking about? The 90-day time clock. What do you think agents are going to feel when they're buying a lead that's 30 days old from origination? Are they going to really want to pay full price for that lead? Chances are they're not. I know I won't. Why would I pay full price for a lead that's 30 days old? And then on top of that, I lose what? That window. It goes from 90 days now to 60 days where I can contact that person. So if you're an agency owner, to talk about when the lead was generated, what the cost is, can be a nightmare for the agency owner. I could see that, because who wants to buy a full price lead that's 30 days old and you only got 60 days to contact that person? Nobody. So again, when people call into these advertisements, you have 90 days. Ask yourself, if you're an agency owner, are you training your staff on these guidelines? Are you training them on telemarketing guidelines? If they're picking up the phones, do they know what they're doing? Because if they don't, boy, you're responsible too. If you're making an override over all of these agents that you have in your downline, and these representatives don't know these basic laws, bad news, man. Bad news all the way around. Because when those litigators find out that you made an override, that you ratified what they did, you're also liable. You can't get away from it, even if they sign an at-will contract. So, again, if you're watching this, be careful. If you're picking up the phone to call your leads, do you know exactly when the lead was generated? Do you know where you're at in that 90-day window from the moment in time they gave that prior express written consent? And if you don't, you need to. But anyways, if you're looking for quality leads in 2026, give me an opportunity. Last year, we sold thousands of leads of inbounds with zero compliant issues. And this year, we're just getting better and better. I'd be more than happy to set you up as well as your agents, so you guys can focus on selling insurance and not worried about if you're going to be sued. And hopefully you don't have to call someone like Eric Troutman, who, once again, is really good at what he does. Peace.